we have this is my noon lineup as of right now. My sleeper picks. I got John Ross right now. Excuse me. With AJ Green out, Tyler Boyd's gonna be playing slot typically, probably about 70% of the time. But New Orleans is gonna be preparing for that. Uh, John Ross, if he can just catch one bomb for a touchdown, I think that's good. It's worth the sleeper pick with Michael Thomas and Julio in there, so I got some backup reinforcement at wide receiver, and especially with this game being projected to be the highest, um, make sure I get Michael Thomas now that Dez is already, unfortunately, his tenure in New Orleans is already over. Which, as a Cowboys fan, I was really hoping he would at least, do something. It was a shame getting rid of him, but it is what it is. I got Saints D as well, so I know that kind of contradicts the John Ross pick, but I don't really expect John Ross getting more than two or three, four catches. Maybe, if we're lucky, he'll catch a bomb, but I do expect Andy Dalton to struggle, throw a couple picks, take several sacks. New Orleans' defense is really stepping up as of late. Dion Lewis was really surprised to see how much he took over the running back duties against Dallas last week. Derrick Henry barely saw the field, and even when they were trying to run out the clock, Dion Lewis was still out there. So against his old team, I think this is a good opportunity for him to kind of build off that game he had last week. I mean, I think he put up like 22 points. I think, yeah, 22 points. So especially against New Orleans, or not New Orleans, New England, they're going to be passing a lot. Mariota's going to be forced to pass a lot. He doesn't really have any receivers outside of Corey Davis, so I think I could see him dumping down a lot. Mark Ingram, I know a lot of people are going to be off of him. He hasn't really done much since that first game back from a suspension where he had the 2 touchdown game. But as I was saying, with expecting Andy Dalton to throw several interceptions, I expect at least two. I think Ingram's going to have a lot of time to just pound the rock and just pick up those yards, hopefully get a goal line touchdown. And then, Michael Thomas, he's still going to get his. And at his price at 81 has gone down quite a bit, so I like that. Mahomes at quarterback, that's the only one I'm kind of not really locked in on. I mean, I don't really love a lot of the quarterbacks this week. Like Baker Mayfield, I might pivot to him, but I don't know. I know Mahomes is safe. That's why I'm picking him right now. I mean, if you look at his games, consistency factor right there, regardless of who he's playing, New England, Cincy, Denver, Cleveland, on the road, at home, he's consistent. So, in my luck, this will be the one week he doesn't do that. But as of right now, this is what I'm rolling with. Got Jordan Reed at tight end. Um, I don't think Harris is going to blow up as much as everyone thinks he's going to. I know he was a big waiver wire pickup for, long-term fantasy people and rest of season, but I watched that game, and yeah, Harris made some great catches and some great plays, but his route running is very sloppy, and I don't expect to see him doing what he did last week. Jordan Reed hasn't really done much. I know he's kind of like Darren McFadden, and his bones are just made of glass. He could get hurt on any play, so I'm kind of taking a flyer on that. Vernon Davis is also a good play, but I mean, Jordan Reed's got to eventually have a big game, and Jamison Crowder's out. Paul Richardson's out. I mean, this is a good matchup for him, against Tampa Bay. So if he's not going to blow up against Tampa Bay, then I'm off the Jordan Reed train for the rest of the year. And then David Johnson over at my flex. I expect KC to be up the entire game. Rosen could be a sneaky sleeper play for tournaments if you want to, because he's only priced at 48. But I do not feel safe doing that. If you want to stack him with Christian Kirk, by all means, that's a sneaky play. He'll be low owned, but I'm just going to get David Johnson. I expect him to get more receptions. Now that they're changing the offensive coordinator in Arizona, I do expect him to be more involved in the passing game. I mean, we're already starting to see it a little bit more. Uh, you know, he had 4 receptions last week, which is good. But I think this week against KC, I could expect him to get 6 or 7 catches. I don't expect a ton of production on the ground, maybe 60 yards and a touchdown, but if I can get that 70, 80 yards receiving. That's kind of what I'm looking for. Same with Dion Lewis. And then Mark Ingram, he can also catch passes. I've seen him take a lot of screens to the house, or at least, for 30-yard gains. So a lot of upside with all these players. Biggest one is John Ross, but I really do like this lineup. If you guys have any questions, starts or sits, just for dailies or for year long, I'm in like 5 or 6 different fantasy leagues. I'm either like 7-2 or 6-3 in like all of them. So have had a lot of luck and a lot of success in fantasy football. So yeah, if you guys have any questions or any advice, definitely leave them in the comments below, and I'll be happy to help. Um, I'll probably post another video with the full slate for football later tonight. I got a bunch of errands to run today, so I at least wanted to get this one out there just so people had something to look at and kind of where my head's at. Feel free to tinker with this how you want. My locks would definitely be David Johnson. I like the Saints D a lot just because of the price point and just the upside. I mean, Andy Dalton struggles without AJ Green. We're going to see it on Sunday. I will be surprised if that's not the case. I would probably honestly lock my running backs in. I think you're getting good value for a good price. And to be able to get Julio and Michael Thomas, yeah, real good. But I think my flex, 2 running backs, and at least Julio. I think those 4 could be locks. If you want to pivot off Michael Thomas or Jordan Reed or John Ross or Mahomes, tinker with it how you will. But this is what I'm sent with right now. Feel free to send your own lineups in, and if you guys want to kind of collaborate and kind of figure out a good lineup. If you guys see something that I'm not, feel free to put it up there. But yeah, good luck to you guys tomorrow, and good luck to you guys tonight on whoever's doing basketball. And yeah, have a good rest of the day.